Friends, welcome to Daisy's Garden, and today I am going to discuss a little something that could end every form of discrimination on the planet with one simple truth. I would say that this is something that when it's told to you, it's something better to take as a literal perspective and not as a philosophical or figurative or a metaphor. You know, this is a literal statement. And that is that we are one and the same. This means between human beings, between animals, between, to be honest, everything. And what I mean by everything is look around your room, look around wherever you are, including what you're watching this on. You're part of that. You know, because the thing is, there's no such thing as you, the one I'm speaking to right now. What it is it's a very, very oversaturated ego. It's a perspective that we've just been fed since we've, been born. We've been named, gone to school, learned about how life should be, which in reality obviously doesn't really seem to make sense. And life seems crazy sometimes, crazy phenomenon that happens, and that's because life is extremely crazy. It's magic, everything is magical. And in terms of discrimination, how this can end that is when you really get this and you really understand that human beings aren't the only ones that can feel feelings and kind of have a personality, I guess. And animals, of course, if you have a dog or a cat, you know that animals act certain ways, but all animals, all insects, all living sentient beings are the same thing. We share a very, very similar consciousness, more than you might think, because obviously, some animals aren't as intelligent, their intellectual function isn't as developed as ours is, but that doesn't make them any less deserving of life. And I feel like, in my opinion, speciesism and racism and sexism, and then, of course, honestly, no, that's pretty much it. I guess broadly. And I believe that if the first step, in my opinion, that would really end discrimination completely would be speciesism, which would be abstaining from going vegan instead of eating animal products. Because when you really understand and you let it dig deep that we're all one and the same, and that animals are no different than we are, the insects are no different than we are, you start to view them in a more humanistic way, I guess. You don't view them as food or anything. You view them as a friend, which I feel like is a great way to view that. And then if you can view animals as being the same, it's very, very easy to apply that same thing to our own humans, our own human friends, with race. Race is a completely man-made concept that was meant to divide us. Because do you think that animals really give a shit about what species you are? I'm sure dogs and cats do not know that we're human beings. They just, we take care of them, we're nice to them, they like us, they don't give a shit. It's why should we care about not only that they're the same species, but a skin color or a religion or a personality? It is just ridiculous that that's a problem. It is mind-blowing that can still be a problem. So I feel like if you get rid of the speciesism and you realize that we're all one and the same in that aspect, it's very easy to get it across to a human being that they're obviously very similar to we are too. So if you don't judge animals as being animals and you judge them as being very, very similar to us, then you won't have a problem transferring that same thought to human beings and judging them on religion or personality or race or whatever. None of that matters at all. The whole point is that we're living together on this planet. We're, thriving together, sharing the same space. It's like, why not just enjoy everybody? It doesn't get you anywhere to feel envious or anger or sadness or anything toward anybody, because it doesn't matter. And what I meant earlier about how, everything is you, I want to go back to that to explain what I mean by that a little bit more. And that is, I feel like in the Kabbalion, I know that they talk about this, that there is a mind in everything. There's a lot, there's the spiritual plane, mental plane, and the material plane. And then within those planes, there's, I think, 7 in each one, 7 subtopics. And I think on the spiritual one, there's like the human mind, the animal mind, and then the mineral mind. And the mineral mind is the fact that, every element has kind of a personality of its own. It attracts to certain atoms and elements, and it has, certain atoms it'll like bond to really well. Some, they just have personalities of their own. And then, if you realize that that like elements do that, then you can kind of realize that, well, we're built up of elements. Everything we see is built up of elements. So if they kind of have a personality of their own, then wouldn't what they build into also have a personality of their own? And I mean, so, in my room, I have, some musical instruments, I have a TV, I have a bed, I have lights, and these are all things that we are too. The only thing that keeps us separated from that, and that what makes that sound crazy, is the ego, because we're not used to thinking this way, because we weren't trained, I guess, to view things that way, because we're kind of programmed to be machines, so this is a way to step back from that perspective of a machine, take a meta perspective and realize that, wow, this is not, it's real to our ego and real to our senses, but deeper than that, it's not real, and we're one with everything. So I think the biggest thing that stands between this truth is the ego. So if you take what I say as a literal standpoint of the truth of, all being the same, and you really apply it with, speciesism, I feel like if you start with that and you start with what you eat, you'll get the benefits from what it feels like to do that. And I feel like most of you that watch these probably aren't like racist and don't have to deal with those kind of things. But hell, if you are, it's okay. You're not a terrible human being. You're allowed to have your opinion, even if it's something like racism. It's something that, obviously I'm not going to advocate, because, I'm obviously advocating against that. But, you can't hate someone for that, because it's an external thing that you're giving energy to that you don't have to. It's just pointless to do that. So, but if you are, if you start with really opening your eyes to this and realizing that, animals are completely our friends, they have just as many reasons to live as we do. So if you start with that and you work you kind of realize with that truth that it applies to human beings as well. Like, no matter what they believe in, what they do, what race all this kind of stuff, it doesn't matter. You can still have the same respect and appreciation for everybody, even if they don't have the same mindset as you do. I only have like one of my best friends is vegan. A couple of my other ones are starting to transfer to it. And then I have friends that aren't vegan at all or vegetarian, and it's okay, because I love them to death and they're great people. So I don't view down on them at all. It's just more of, I'm interested in self-development and self-study. So this is something that I like to discuss, and something that I find very important, that I feel like everybody, if they were open to it and wanted to, they could totally get it and, provide a better planet for us provide a better planet for the animals, provide a better planet for people of all kinds that want to be themselves but can't because they're scared of uh, um, social stigmas. I mean, obviously, gay people and um, people with specific races and stuff like that just feel insecure, because society's played it out to be, you have to be a white, straight person, or, at least in America, that's kind of the stigma, but I really feel like the world's changing very quickly, and, slowly, but, like, more and more people are starting, it's kind of slow, and now I feel like there's, like, a very quick spike in people waking up and realizing that, it doesn't matter who you are or what you are, you're valued the same to me as I am myself. So yeah, that's what I believe to be the truth that would end all discrimination, is really taking it literal that we are all the same thing. The only thing that stands between us realizing that is this hell of an ego that's rooted deep in our mind. That's the thing that's really shielding us from experiencing this type of consciousness. So yeah, I hope that it clicked, made sense, took something from it, because that's, my goal is just to take something from it that you didn't know before, or something that you didn't think about before, something like that. But yeah, so I hope this helped, and I hope you're having a great day today, because every day can be so great if you just breathe and appreciate. I feel like that's the best way that you'll feel good. And to just be aware, just be aware of your surroundings, be aware of, at least for me, I have it really great. You've got a roof over my head. Also, a quick little point saying that I am going to be moving next weekend. I'm going to be moving to a new place. I'm going to have a studio room, and I'll definitely do a video on that once I do that. But so yeah, I'll have a new roof over my head. Having food, water, it's being able to just be in the moment. That's what'll help ground you and keep you in the mood you want to be in. So until the next time, have a great day, my friends, and don't forget those happy trails, and never forget the nature baths and prana breaths to keep that root chakra nice and aligned and flowing, because that'll help you. All right, see you later, guys.